What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me. I'm Tiffany Bankhead, and this is the Totally Kind of Okay podcast, and I'm your host. So thank you for joining me. If you're new here, I appreciate you being here. I hope that you get something out of this episode, whether it's entertainment or some education, or you realize something about yourself. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back and listening or watching to this podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, please follow the show and rate it 5 stars. And if you're on YouTube, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Today is episode, I think, 42. I'll have to double check. This is a podcast where I discuss all things mental health, signs and symptoms of it, how to improve it, and how to live a balanced, healthy life. I'm your host, like I said, Tiffany Joy Bankhead. You can find me on all platforms as Tiffany Joy Bankhead, or TikTok, I'm just Tiff Bankhead. But I don't post much on TikTok. This podcast is designed to teach you how to improve your mental health after listening to each episode. I talk about my real life experiences that I've had with mental health issues and disorders. I discuss mental health treatment and tools you can apply to your life today, and healthy habits that will improve your health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I discuss my personal experiences that I've had with my mental health journey and recovery. I was diagnosed 14 years ago with bipolar type 2, and after that my other diagnoses have been ADHD or ADD, PTSD, generalized anxiety, seasonal affective disorder, aka seasonal depression, and also marijuana substance use disorder. So I got it all. You want a little bit? I have plenty to give. This episode is about how I am 38 years old, actually 38 and a half years old, and I do not have children yet, even though I really, 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 really want to have them. I explain how I've been managing my mental health and my emotional health while dealing with a feeling that I'm missing something in my life that I want more than anything else. I have always wanted to be a mom. I'm the second oldest. I have an older brother, but they say if there's 2 oldest and there's an oldest girl that's younger, the oldest girl usually takes on the role of the oldest child and becomes like a second mother. And because I have 4 younger siblings, I helped raise them in a way. I mean, I was there as a big sister, but I tried to mother all my siblings. They can attest to that, but I was always like a little mom trying to tell everybody what to do, but not just tell people what to do, also try to take care of them and help them. Every episode, we have an affirmation that we start and end with, and I believe affirmations can change the way you think about yourself, the way you see the world, and the way you think about other people. And I have used affirmations to change my mindset and the things that I believe about myself and to build my self-confidence and grow my self-love. So I think it's very important what we tell ourselves. What we tell ourselves becomes our thoughts become our beliefs turn into our reactions, and our reactions become our consequences, which is our life. So it all starts with what you think and what you tell yourself. The affirmation today is, I'm happy where I'm at now, and I will get everything I desire in life. So we're going to say that 3 times, and say it with me. I am happy where I'm at now, and I will get everything I desire in life. I am happy where I'm at now, and I will get everything I desire in life. I'm happy where I'm at now, and I will get everything I desire in life. And I truly believe that. I think, no matter what your dream is, whether it's to become a mom or a doctor or have a business, I think whatever your dream is, whatever your goals are, you can definitely achieve them. And I believe in you because I believe in myself, and I've done a lot of things that I never thought I could do. And yeah, I've had a long life for 38 years on this planet. Like I said, I'm 38. I'm almost 39. I'll be 39 in November, and oh my gosh, it's July. I thought it was June. It's July now. This year is going by so fast. Oh my goodness. So I wanted to have 4 kids by the time I was 26, like my mom did. My mom had kids at 18, 20, 22, and 25 or 26, I think. And that's how I thought my life was going to be. I thought I was going to get married right out of high school and start pumping out the babies. But God had other plans for me. Honestly, if I would have had kids in my 20s, it would have been really difficult. And not just because being a young parent is difficult, but because I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was 24 years old. I spent most of my 20s in mental health recovery and treatment. I was hospitalized 3 times for mental illness, mostly suicide ideation. And yeah, my 20s were just really difficult. Excuse me. It was a pretty volatile time in my life in my 20s, as I learned to deal with having bipolar and how to create stability in my life. I did an episode on bipolar hypomania, and I also did 2 other episodes on how to be stable with having bipolar. It's called like Being Stable and Being Bipolar. It's a 2-part series, and I go over the exact things that I have learned to do over the past 14 years in order to have the healthy, pretty stable, pretty balanced life that I have today. But back in my 20s, it was a different story. I really didn't learn how to be stable until my 30s. And it would have been a huge struggle to have kids and be navigating how to deal with my mental illness. One, because, when you're pregnant, your hormones are all over the place. And 2, because when your hormones are out of the place, it can affect your mental health. And it would have just been a huge struggle to be dealing with newly being diagnosed. I mean, I probably have had bipolar since I was a teenager. They don't really diagnose teenagers with bipolar because of hormone changes. Excuse me. Sorry, I've been sick for the past week. So yeah, it just would have been very hard to be learning how to deal with mental health and recover from that, and also dealing with having kids and being pregnant. And also, this is just a broad general statement, but when women have kids or babies, their mental health and emotional health can worsen. And I've seen that, with people in my life, and through education online and stuff, especially, dealing with postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety. Also, just a quick side note, when I was married and I was trying to get pregnant, I had to switch medications. And sometimes for some people with a mental illness that are on medication, sometimes they have to switch medications that is safe for pregnancy. So that's like a whole thing, because when you switch medications, you gotta titrate off of one and increase the other, and it can be a very delicate situation. Like, you can be very vulnerable during that time because your brain chemistry is trying to get balanced. So This season of waiting to have kids has been so difficult, especially since I'm getting older biologically, and obviously, now today women, there's been women having babies in their 50s, like Janet Jackson. There was another celebrity, I forgot who, but women can obviously have babies into their 40s, late 40s, even early 50s, through the help of science and medical technology. But naturally, I'm 38, and I don't know when I'm going to go into perimenopause or menopause, but realistically, I have probably about 10 years to have biological kids. And I want to have multiple. So that is going to be something that I'm going to have to deal with when I get there. That, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe after I have one baby, I'll be like, no more babies. But really, like, I've always wanted a big family, and I would like to have at least 3, if not like 4, 5, or 6 kids. I would love to have twins. Actually, I went on a date with this guy, and I thought the date went like great. Like, we had so much in common, and it was like the most like adult mature date I've ever been on. And that's saying a lot because I've been dating, since my 20s, and well, I didn't date for 8 years when I was with my husband, but I think I scared him off because everything, we were like clicking on everything. And at the end, he was like, I want to see you again. Like, let's go do that on a hike. And I was like, okay, cool. But then he ghosted me and just never talked to me again. And I think it was because I said I wanted to have a large family and I wanted to have like 4 or 5 kids. So I think that scared him off. But oh well, if that scared him off, wasn't meant to be. And that's fine. I don't want someone who doesn't want to have a large family. Waiting for something you want so badly can definitely affect your emotional health. It can make you feel lonely and lead to isolation. When we're struggling with something major in our lives, something that we're waiting for to happen, or something we're hoping ends, like it comes to an end, that time can be very lonely and isolating. And loneliness and isolation can lead to depression and other mental health problems like substance abuse and anxiety. So it can be very mentally and emotionally difficult when you are waiting for something and you don't have something in your life that you really desire to have. Sorry, I'm still congested. I had an upper respiratory infection this week, and but I'm on antibiotics, so I'm getting better, but I apologize for the stuffiness. So in order to not let myself spiral and become depressed because of not having something I want, I have had to focus on doing self-care and creating a life that I love now. I make my needs and desires a priority. I take good care of myself. I prioritize spending time with family and friends. I spend time having fun and going on adventures. So that way my life feels really full and my life feels exciting, and it makes me feel like I have a whole life, even though I have this like big void that is something I'm waiting for. And I want to be a mom more than anything in life. So even though I have this like gap in my life, I fill it up with self-care and all these things. So that way I feel like I have a whole life, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything, even though I know I'm missing something. But because I fill my life up so much with great things, I don't feel like I'm necessarily missing out. Of course, I literally, these last 2 years have been like the baby boom. I swear, I probably know 12 to 15 people that have either gotten pregnant or had a baby in the last 2 years. And about 4 people were really close to me, and seeing them, actually more than 4 people, seeing them get pregnant and have a baby definitely really was, obviously I was happy for them, but it was really devastating for me. And I definitely had a lot of moments as they went through their pregnancies and births. And it was really hard for me to process that, because it's such a deep desire, and I let myself, feel bad, because it's good to let ourselves feel our emotions, because if we don't feel our emotions, they get stuck inside our body. And negative emotions, when you don't release them and let yourself feel and go through them, they can cause physical and mental illness. Yeah, so not really sure where I was going with that. But yeah, so I'll try not to say so much. I still get nervous doing these podcasts, especially on YouTube. I get nervous because you're seeing my face and my expressions, and maybe you don't like my face. I get on my feedback on Spotify on the audio is that most people really enjoy like my voice. They say it's like calming or soothing, but I just feel like I don't know how I look on camera. I mean, I've watched myself on camera, but it's just like I just get nervous. So, and that is why I say so a lot. I must remind myself that I know I will be a mom one day. I have to remind myself every time I feel down or feel that void. I have to remind myself I will be a mom one day. I tell myself that although I'm not a mom yet, that just means the timing isn't right now, and it's not a question of if, but when. And even if I can't give birth to children biologically, I still want to adopt. And even if I do have biological kids, I still want to adopt or foster to adopt children. Adoption is something that has been dear to my heart. I've always desired to adopt kids. And I just have this like deep passion for kids that don't have families. So I should also mention that I'm 38 and excuse me. Sorry, just a second. I should also mention that I'm 38 and I have no boyfriend. I'm not dating. I mean, I'm dating, like open to dating, but I'm not dating anybody specifically right now. I haven't been on a date in like 4 months. And not that I'm not actively trying to date. I talk to people, I meet new people. I'm on a dating app. I don't really like dating apps, but whatever. But currently, I have no prospects, no roster, no hookups, no situationships, and no relationship. So I am very single right now, and obviously I would love to meet someone to have children with, but I don't know when that's going to happen. And so I have made a decision that if I don't meet someone by the time I'm 40 years old, which, is in less than 2 years, if I don't meet someone by the time I'm 40 years old, I'm going to go through medical treatment or whatever, I'm going to go through like the donation, sperm donation, and have a baby by myself, be a single mom. A lot of people go, you don't want to be a single mom. Like, you don't know how hard that is. That's terrible. But I watched my mom be a single mom for a few years of 4 kids, and she did amazing. And if I just have one kid and can be a single mom, like, I can support a child. I have a 2-bedroom place, and my second room is empty. Like, literally, for 2 years, I've had a second room, and I've only had people stay with me like a handful of times. But, yeah, so even though I don't have someone in my life right now, I hope that I will, and I hope it will be the right time, and I hope that they are wanting to have kids like very quickly. But if that doesn't happen for me in the next couple of years, I'm going to pursue it myself and be a single mom. So that's just what I've decided to do. My neighbor was a kid in the foster care system, and I was telling her about being a single mom, and she really, like, oh my gosh, I was crying when she said this, but she said, you know what, Tiffany? It doesn't matter if a child has 2 parents in their life, as long as they have one really good parent. All it takes for a child to grow up and be happy is having one really good parent. Of course, 2 is better as long as they're both healthy individuals and they're good parents. But for a kid to have a good childhood, they just need to have one really good, loving parent. And I'm very fortunate. I have a great support system in my life. I have family that is there for me and will help me. And I also have a bunch of friends that are close and would love to help me out if I had a baby or a kid. So I'm very blessed. I was married for 4 years, and I thought I would have kids with my ex-husband, but that was not in God's plan. My cat wants attention. Callie. It was not in God's plan, and I'm so grateful for that now, because raising kids with him honestly would have been a nightmare, and we probably would have divorced just because of having kids together. And actually, part of the reason why we got divorced was because I was wanting children and he was not sure if he wanted kids. So that was something that contributed to that. And it was a blessing that I didn't have kids with him, because I don't think he would have been the right dad for my children, because he has major alcoholism and drug addictions, and I don't think that, I know that would not be a good environment for any kid to have a parent who's an alcoholic or a drug addict. And I know from experience, because my father was an alcoholic when I was growing up, and I am a child of an alcoholic parent. And I have had trauma in my life because of that, and that's something that I have had to do a lot of work on and heal from, and it's still something that I'm working on in therapy and in my relationships. Although I don't have kids yet, God has been preparing me for motherhood. Let me drink some water. Sorry, I know that's probably so gross. Okay. I know that, hold on. Okay. I know that I wasn't ready before to have kids because, like I said, all the mental health issues I was dealing with. I had a lot of traumas to heal from my childhood and also from previous relationships I've been in. And there were just a bunch of things that I needed to heal from and grow through in order to become the person I am today. And I think today, I know I would be a great mother today because I have dealt with my crap. I've dealt with my stuff. I've dealt with my trauma. I have dealt with, coming over, like overcoming my flaws and my insecurities and my shortcomings. I'm not perfect by any means, but I have worked really, 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 really hard on myself to be who I am today and be emotionally and mentally healthy. I've done a lot of therapy and I've also done 12-step meetings for codependency. I can't say what it is because you can't market it or broadcast it, but just look up 12-step meeting for codependency. And I did a lot of those, and I still plan on doing more of those because codependency was a big issue for me for many, many years, because when you're a child of an alcoholic or addict parent, you tend to develop really bad codependency. And that's something that I carried over from my relationship with my alcoholic father. I carried over that into my relationships with my ex-boyfriends and ex-husband. And I'm really proud of myself because I am a recovering codependent, and I would say now I may still have some tendencies to be codependent, but I really have learned healthy boundaries, communication, and just a lot of things to eliminate that codependent behavior. I've been an aunt for 8 years and have learned how to create healthy relationships with children and how to nurture and take care of them. That is one of the biggest blessings. Well, besides my siblings having kids is the biggest blessing in my life. I love being an aunt. I love taking care of my nieces and nephews, and they bring immense joy to my life. And I feel like that has really prepared me to be a good mother. By the way, my nieces and nephews call me TT for Auntie Tiffany, and my little 1.5-year-old niece says TT now. She goes, TT. And she's only 1.5 years old. It's so cute. I love it so much. I'm at the stage now where I know I will be an amazing mother because of all I've overcome and because of the lessons I've learned. This is very important. Trusting God when things don't happen on your timeline is extremely difficult, but that's all I can do. I can do, the medical treatment to have kids, and I can do what I can do, like take care of myself physically and everything, but for the most part, I have to just trust God because that's like all I can do, because it's mostly out of my control. Like, yeah, some things are in my control, but ultimately I don't know if it's going to work out, and so I just have to trust. And I rely on scripture. A couple scriptures really help me. I actually have this scripture tattooed on my arm. It says, "May he grant your heart's desire and make all your plans succeed." That's Psalm 24, 20:4. I'll put that in the show notes, but that has been a scripture that has really helped me to have faith and trust in God and wait on his timing, is that he will grant the desires of my heart and he will make my plans succeed. The other scripture I really like is Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. I'm so sorry. I should edit that out. That Jeremiah 29:11 is, I should have that tattooed on me. That's like one of my favorite scriptures. That has gotten me through so much in my life, just knowing even in the hard times, even the times we're waiting, the times we feel like there's a void in our life, God has plans for you to succeed and prosper and plans for good. I know God will fulfill my desires. I just have to have faith, be patient, trust Him, and work on myself in the meantime. If you're a middle-aged woman who is still wanting to have kids like me, know that God has a plan for you and He is faithful to His promises. If you pray to God and you have a desire in your heart, He will keep His promises to you and He will give you those things you desire on your heart. What do I do to stay mentally and emotionally healthy while I wait to have kids and have a big void in my life? Let me take a sip of water. Okay. The first thing I do, I just talked about, is pray and have faith. So prayer is a part of my daily life. I don't pray necessarily every day for God to give me a baby, but it's pretty often. But my prayers are mostly gratitude, because being grateful changes your brain chemistry. And I believe when you are grateful for what God has given you, He's going to bless you with even more. And having faith is one of the things that helps me hold on the most, is because I have that faith that I am going to get the things that I want in life and the things that are dear to me. The next thing I do is stay physically active, and that's part of me preparing my body to get pregnant. I've been working on my health a lot over the past 5-6 years. I've been working with a hormone specialist to balance my hormones because I do have PCOS and I have a thyroid disease, actually 2 thyroid diseases. And so I've been really working on my physical health and staying active, exercising, getting movement in, getting my steps in, all that good stuff. Also, staying physically active, exercising helps improve your mental health. And so in order for me to feel good and feel more confident and have a more balanced, healthy mental capability, I need to be physically active and exercise. The next thing I do is hang out with friends and family as much as possible. Like tonight, I just went to a friend's barbecue for his birthday, and that was so fun. This past week being sick, I was going crazy because I was isolated. I was basically on quarantine and couldn't interact with anybody because I was contagious. And finally, now that I've been taking medicine, I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, because I hang out with friends at least twice a week. Pretty much every single week, I do a social activity twice a week. And I also hang out with my family, mostly my parents or my grandparents, at least once a week too, or maybe every other week. But spending time with your friends and family is really going to feed your social desires, your social cup. Everybody has a amount of social need in their life, and focusing on the cup fillers, the people that make you feel good, is going to help you have that whole fulfilling life that you need in order to not feel so mentally negative about not having what you want. I travel solo. The other thing that is really important for me to, be healthy and feel excited and happy about my life is solo travel. So I've traveled across the world, and I've also done road trips, and I just love traveling. So I try to do that as much as possible. Also, solo traveling is very fulfilling because you get to know so much about yourself, and you get to know more about other cultures, and you get to know like just the little things, like what do you like what snacks do you like at the airport, it's amazing when you travel by yourself. You just learn so much about yourself, and the more you learn about yourself, the more you're going to learn how to become a parent. And or if being a parent isn't your thing, the more you're going to learn about what you really want in life. The next thing I do is I enjoy and take advantage of having me time every day, all day, because I'm single, I live by myself, I have no roommates, and I take advantage of the fact that I have me time all the time, because I see my sister who has 3 kids, and she maybe gets me time like for an hour once a month. So I really take advantage of that. I sleep when I want to sleep. I work when I want to work. Well, I do have to work certain hours, but I have some flexibility. I eat meals whenever I want to eat. I eat whatever I want to eat. I just really embrace being able to basically do anything I want. Every day I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? What do I want to do today? And I do it. Another thing I do is I love on my animals. So I have a 4-year-old golden retriever, Henry, and he is the best boy, the bestest boy in the world. And I have a cat, Callie. And so, obviously they're my fur babies, and they're not children, not humans, but I do take care of them and nurture them as being, my fur children. Another thing I do is I get good sleep, and I mean really good sleep. I have worked on improving my sleep for so long, and that's something that I am so hyper vigilant about, is getting good sleep. And I get on average 8.5 to 9 hours of sleep a night. And that's another thing, when you have kids, you're not always going to get good sleep. In fact, most of the time, you're probably not going to get good sleep, or if any sleep at all. So I really take advantage of getting good sleep right now while I can. 2 more things. The other thing I do is talk about my dreams to have kids to other people, because I believe, like I said, the affirmations, what we talk about, what we tell ourselves, what we tell other people, becomes our reality. And that is why I talk about my desire to have kids to everybody. I tell everybody, and it's great. They give me feedback or support, and it's been great that I share that, because literally you can speak your reality into life. You can speak into life your reality that you want. I'm a big believer that what you say to yourself and to others is how your life becomes. And then the last thing I do is I babysit my nieces and nephews. And that helps me to fill that void of not having kids. Is, I get to enjoy my nieces and nephews, and I get to give them back to their parents at the end of the day. So that really helps me fill the void of not having kids right now, as I get to be a role model and a nurturer in kids' lives. And that's really important, because that solidifies in me that I know I'm going to be a good mom because I'm getting practice doing it right now. So that's what I want to talk about today. That's, how I have gotten through the last, basically 6 years of really feeling a void of not having kids. And I hope this was helpful if you too are in the same place and you don't have kids yet, but you have a big desire to have kids. I hope this really helps you, and I will be praying for you. I'll say a prayer for all the ladies and gentlemen that want to become parents that aren't parents yet. Okay, real quick, before we go, I just want to let you know I have a self-care online course. It's called Connected and Confident Self-Care for the Soul. And that I talked about this a little bit, but one of the things I do to focus on myself and take care of myself is maintaining really, really good self-care. I consider myself the self-care queen or the self-care expert because it's something that I've worked on in my mental health recovery journey that has made an immense difference in my life between how I was struggling so much before and how I felt overwhelmed and how I felt like out of control and like life was happening to me instead of for me. And I changed that by doing self-care on a daily basis. And this course is going to help you implement self-care on a daily basis as well. It's going to explain what self-care really is and not what the internet says it is. And it's going to explain the levels of self-care, how to identify what level you're at, how to get to the next level of self-care. And it's also going to help you do a personalized self-care plan that you can implement into your everyday life. And it's available now. So if you go to stan.store/Tiffany Joy Bankhead, it's there. You can click to get more info. Right now it's on a super discount. The course itself is worth over $400, but right now this is not going to be going on for long. So go do it now. If you struggle with self-care or you don't do any self-care or you have no idea what to do for self-care, go get this now because right now it's only $22. But after the month of July, it's going to go up. And then after the month of August, it's going to go up. So get it while you can at this amazing steal of a price because it's not going to last long. So you can also email me at tiffbankhead@gmail.com. That's just tiffbankhead@gmail.com. And just type in self-care and I'll send you a link to the self-care course. We're going to repeat our affirmation real quick. Again, that's I'm happy where I'm at now and I will get everything I desire in life. Let's say that 3 times. I'm happy where I'm at now and I will get everything I desire in life. I'm happy where I'm at now and I will get everything I desire in life. I'm happy where I'm at now and I will get everything I desire in life. And I truly believe that for you. I have faith that God is going to do amazing things in your life, that He's going to bless you abundantly. Whatever you feel like you're missing or whatever you feel like you've lost, God's going to give you back more than what you lost or more than what you don't have. And He's going to multiply that by 1,000,000 times. And it's going to be so much more amazing than you could ever imagine. If you don't believe in God and you just believe in the universe, I would really recommend doing meditation and manifesting. To me, manifesting is God doing things in my life. But yeah, do your thing. No judgment here. If you don't believe in God, that's okay. I believe in Him for you, and I pray for your salvation. So thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you listening or watching this episode. Again, comment, give it a heart or a like, share this with someone. I feel like nobody's really talking about this topic, about how women have this void in their life when they have a desire to have kids and they don't have kids, and they're middle-aged, or they're getting, their biological clock is ticking. And I would really love if you share it today with a woman that you know is struggling with that as well. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you become your happiest and healthiest self. You will do amazing things. There are so many good things coming for you in life. So many great adventures and blessings ahead for you in life. And I know that, and I believe it. So I know life is going to be good for you and for me. You can email the show totallykindofoK@gmail.com, and you can request future topics you want me to discuss, or you can give me feedback, like if you don't like that, I was nasally and coughing and snorting on this episode and drinking my water. Please tell me, because I don't edit it out right now. In the future, if you really don't like that, I'll edit it out. So let me know. But yeah, go follow me on Instagram, Tiffany Joy Bankhead, and the podcast Totally Kind of Okay. And you can get updates on the podcast as well as my favorite things, my favorite brands. And you can also see my precious fur babies, Callie and Henry. So that's it. And stay blessed. Have a great night. Peace out.